welcome to another episode of Ask the Doc. I am your host, Jennifer Filzen, and today I have with me Dr. Selina Matthews, and she is a therapist in Beverly Hills, California. Welcome, Dr. Selina.
Thank you so much for having me. And I am actually a spiritual psychologist, which is
even better.
different. Yeah.
And you know what? Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah. So as you were saying, your attitude is gratitude. I'm like, just before the show started, I was totally with you because that's part of the whole thing. It's your attitude and way in life and how to transform your life that's really important.
Oh, that is so cool. And you're absolutely right. And thank you so much for correcting me because, it's funny. I have conversations with auto mechanics all the time and how they want to be known as technicians. And it's like, but the vernacular is for the rest of us, we want to call you a mechanic because there's so many technicians. There's a veterinary technician, there's a computer technician, there's an MRI technician. So like technician tends to be overused, but mechanic, we know exactly, right? So isn't it interesting how like the vernacular is therapist, but you're absolutely right. You are more than that. So do me a favor and tell us about your practice and tell us about your podcast as well.
Okay. Well, as a spiritual psychologist, I help people with personal transformation through lifespan issues from a psychospiritual perspective. I help them find their life purpose and connect them to their inner soul so that they can move forward on the right path, because most people are living the lives of the culture, of their families, and not their authentic self. So I like to put them on the lane that is more authentically theirs. And when they're there, they're much happier and brighter, and life is great because they are not having to be conforming to something that doesn't fit their inner essence.
You know what, you're absolutely right. If you are doing something that you love, you are joyful. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like a vacation within your vocation, right? But if you are slugging it through yeah, exactly. So now it's interesting because, we all face this, but you're in Beverly Hills. Do you find that the people in Beverly Hills are having the same transformative challenges as that they might say in like Kansas City, Missouri?
You know what? Yes, I do. And I'm going to give you some examples of transformation in my practice. And I work with the ages of 11 to 99. The oldest person I have in my practice right now is 96. Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, so, and it doesn't matter what age a person is, transformation can happen. So I'm going to give you a story because I think this will give you a good example. And I have a few stories for you. An 80-year-old woman came in to see me, depressed, feeling sad because her life, she didn't do what she really wanted to do. She wanted to be an actress like Carol Channing. Okay. And I said, well, you can still do that. And she goes, no, I can't. I'm 80. Well, we got her to go to acting class, get headshots. She's now 85. She's a working actress. She goes to auditions 2 to 3 times a month. And she is happy and living life and enlivened. So I think culture and society don't allow people to have an expansive view of what is possible. And that's where I come along and say, I'm going to blow this all up because no, anybody can do anything. And you just need a little push, or we need to get you on the lane. And also to add, this woman also has Parkinson's. So,
wow.
So
you're doing some cool stuff. Okay, tell us another story. This is amazing. Okay, what's another one?
Okay, I had a girl that I saw when she was, a wild teenager, and I saw her for a couple of years. And then when she was 25, she came back to see me because she was told by her family that they wanted her to get a 9 to 5 job. She hated her job. The general story. She really wanted to be a singer-songwriter. And so there she was. And I said, okay, let's push this. And now she's in her early 30s. She just signed a multi-million-dollar contract, and she is on her way to be a superstar. And I'm super excited. Because people are told, oh, you're 25, you're too old, you can't start a career in the music industry, or, whatever the story is. If it's inside of you and you're enlivened, yes, you can move it forward. You can do anything.
Wow. Okay. That is amazing. Okay. So how do people find more of you? How do we get a little bit of Dr. Selina on a daily basis?
Okay, you know what? I'm on TikTok, which I never imagined I'd be doing, but I'm loving it. And I do, this, 30 seconds on, narcissism, depression, anxiety, cheating, just little vignettes about teaching people about life. And so that's a little piece of work that I'm doing. And then I'm also doing a podcast, which is a more intellectual thing, where I interview other doctors who are doing really extraordinary things on more spiritual kind of things versus traditional psychology. I have a person talking about cognitive behavioral therapy from a Vedic perspective, which is advancing the traditional cognitive behavioral therapy and pushing it to a whole new world. And then I have someone talking about transgenerational trauma and how your trauma didn't start with you. Those are just a couple of examples. Oh yeah, and I also had a Sufi mystic who's also a PhD professor come in and talk about the God within from a Sufi perspective. So I'm trying to be a slightly different and putting my lane out there as more of a spiritual lane.
Wow. Okay. You are just doing some amazing stuff. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Selina Matthews. Oh my goodness. Everybody, if you want to find out more about the great work that she's doing, if you want to transform your life and perhaps become a multi-million-dollar selling rock star, amazing, please contact her. You can find out more about her if you go to Buzz TV at iwannabuzz.com. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye.